Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Helene from Makeup by Helene. If you're already subscribed here, welcome back guys. For today's video, we're going to be testing out a very cheap eyeshadow palette. It's 100 Rand, so it's not extremely cheap, but it is quite a cheap eyeshadow palette. It's the cheapest one I found on Takealot so far. The colors look really awesome. I have touched the shimmers just to see what they look like because I couldn't wait. All that it says on the palette is Crystal Wave, but the color story looks very beautiful. You get your golds, your neutral shades, you get some purples, and then you get a nice duochrome greeny brown color, which looks amazing. So I thought I would test out a more affordable, cheap eyeshadow palette for you guys that I found on Takealot, and let's just see how it compares to some high-end eyeshadows or Essence or Wet n Wild eyeshadow palettes. So let's dive straight into this video. Hi guys, I've just realized now that the one light was not working, and that is why my one brow looks a little bit darker than the other. Ready for us to get right into this video. I am going to do swatches of all the colors. They don't have shade names on them, but we'll just go row from row right to left. So as always, I'm going to I just need to grab a tissue quickly. I'm going to grab my favorite fluffy blending brush. I'm going to go into a very neutral tone shade. They're very fluffy eyeshadows, so if you're worried about fallout, you can put a bit of powder under your eye or do your eyes first and then do your face. We're just going to put this color right on the top crease for our transition shade. I don't think you'll be able to see it that much because it's very similar to my skin tone and the color of my eyelid, but it's just a nice shade just to pop in the crease for a nice transition. Just like that. And I'm going to end with a slightly more fluffier crease brush, and I'm going to go into a more darker brown. It's almost like a reddish brown, very warm brown. I'm just going to bring that in the crease. Blending a little bit more up than normal, because I really want to try out that greeny duochrome eyeshadow. Just like that, nothing too crazy, and that was literally one dip in this pan. So far, the two colors that I've used, they're not crazy pigmented like your more expensive eyeshadows, but they do work. If you're a beginner and you don't know how to do your makeup and you're scared of using more than one or two colors, this would be a perfect starter palette to play with, because you can build up the shades. They're not too crazy and pigmented straight away. They do build up, but they also blend very nicely. One thing I will say, it does have way more pigment in it than the Maybelline, I think it's the Nudes palette, but the one in like the Rose Nudes palette, it's like a rosy tone pinkish palette. And their Burgundy bar, I find that to have like such a little bit of pigment. You have to sit for ages to try to get some color payoff, and this has got a lot more payoff of color. I'm going to go in with a more smaller, precise blending brush. I'm going to go into the darker shade that they have here, which looks like a plum, a dark browny plum shade. I'm just going to stamp it in the outer edge of my eyelid and then gently buff it into that crease shade, but keeping the glow in the eye socket, just to give the eye some depth. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. If you can hear a buzzing noise, there seems to be a fly somewhere around in the studio and I cannot get it out. When I think I've got it out, it ends up coming back, so I kind of gave up on him. But I will fumigate him just now. I just don't want to kill myself in the studio with some fumigation. Just like that. Now I'm going to just smudge some color on the lower lash line. I'm just going to take a fluffy brush. I'm going to go into the second shade that we used, the deeper brown. I'm just going to smudge it on my lower lash. It's almost like a brick shade. That. I'm going to go in with a smaller, more precise brush and go into that plummy color and just go close to the waterline. And connect it to the outer corner of your eye, just so everything blends seamlessly. Now that that's all blended in, the fun starts. And let's put some shimmer. I'm going to go into that greeny brown duochrome color. I'm going to work that on the outer, well, the middle part of the eyelid. Wet my brush. Actually, I think I'm going to put it all over the lid. It's so soft. It's almost like an eyeshadow topper, but it does have pigment in it where it will cover your actual lid of your eye. It's very beautiful. It almost shifts from green to like a reddish purple, almost like a burgundy. Just going to blend that on the arm. Some on this side. The green shift is very subtle. I hope you can pick up on camera, but it's there, but it's like, is it there or isn't it there? It's not like green. So the shade might look a bit scary, but it's a very wearable shimmer. Just like that. Now I'm going to take a tiny brush and I'm going to go into what looks like a peachy gold duochrome shade, and I'm just going to put it on the inside corner of the eye and just bring it slightly in to the lid of the eye, just to brighten up the corner of our eyes. Brush. Bring it a little bit under the lower lash line. And do the same thing on the other side. I'm just blending the green and the peachy gold color together. And just like that, we have a beautiful eyeshadow look. It's more of a like brick tone with some darker gold and green and purple shades in it, but it is an eyeshadow that you could wear every day. Like you could walk out the door and go and do your grocery shopping, you could go to work with this eyeshadow look. There's nothing too crazy about this eyeshadow look. If you want to do the whole brown brick color and pop the purple shimmer on, or purple matte on that they have in the palette, or some gold, it would look amazing. These matte shades work perfectly with the shimmer shades in this palette, and it gives you a little bit more of a zhuzh to a neutral palette, but it is a nice palette to play with. If you don't want to spend hundreds of rands on an eyeshadow palette, it does build the color beautifully and it works awesome. I'm just going to pop the like ivory color inside this palette, just under the brow bone. It's my new favorite thing that I like to do now, just to highlight the brow bone with a tiny little brush. Okay guys, I'm just going to pop on some mascara, and you guys are going to see the swatches of the video, I'm going to swatch the eyeshadows for you, and you can get to see a close-up swatch of them, and then I'm going to come back and give you my thoughts and show you. Okay, you guys, starting from over here, we have the first row. We have a very neutral transition ivory shade. We have the shade that I used on my lid, on my crease today. This is the shade that I used on the corner of my eye. And then we go down to the darker shades. There's a nice coppery shimmer, and at the end we have the shade that I used to deepen up the crease. So this is all the colors for the first row of eyeshadows in that Crystal Waves palette. Okay, so for the second row, we have a very nice bronzy color, and then we have shimmer, and we have a nice gold shimmer, but like an antique gold looking shimmer. We have a very nice purple shimmer that seems to lean towards more of a pink purple duochrome. We have the purple matte shade, then we have more of a deeper purple to, well, copper to purple duochrome, and then we have the more brick to green duochrome right at the end, which is what I used all over my lid. And that is the second row in this palette, what it looks like swatched. Okay, for the final and last row, we have a very nice shimmery, almost like silver gold color. We have a very nice peachy nude transition shade. We have a berry color shimmer with a slight shimmer. It's not as metallic as the others, but it is like a berry shimmer. Then we have a full-on coppery glitter, which is amazing. We have a nice berry matte shade, and then we have a very soft copper matte shade, lighter than the brick shade that I used. And that is the last row of this palette, what it looks like. Okay guys, I put my eyelashes, some mascara on my eyelashes, not my eyelashes on, and my thoughts on this eyeshadow palette for 100 Rand or less. I can't remember exactly how much it was. It is very well worth it. You get a glitter shade in here, you get some awesome shimmers, you get some duochromes, and you get some very wearable matte shades as well. So for a very reasonable eyeshadow palette, if you can find it, I would highly recommend the Crystal Wave eyeshadow palette for the everyday glam, or if you just want to wear makeup when you go out at night, or even your makeup look for going to work. It will work awesome. It's a very neutral shade. It's a more warm, like fall type eyeshadow palette. That's just the vibes it's giving me, but it really works well. The shades blend awesomely. The darker shades are very pigmented and the lighter shades are less pigmented, as it should be, but they are very easy to blend, and they're also very easy to build up. So if you don't want to spend an arm and a leg on an eyeshadow palette, but you want a decent amount of shades, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is, I think, 15 shades in this eyeshadow palette. So if it is something that you're interested in, you can have a look on Takealot and see if they still have it, or look at your cheaper shops. Maybe you'll find it at Clicks, or who knows. But I did pick it up off of Takealot, so it should still be there. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's up on Takealot. And or maybe type in Crystal Wave and see if you can find it, if it is a palette you're looking for. But there are some palettes that are similar to this out there, so this is just an indication that even though it's got some purples and some scarier tones in here, they are workable and they are not too crazy. Thanks, so guys. Thanks so much you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share my video with your friends. Also, if you're watching this off of Facebook, I've noticed a lot of my followers watch it off of Facebook and don't actually subscribe to the YouTube channel. It costs you nothing to subscribe. I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. If you viewed this video, if you could please give it a thumbs up, you guys, I'd really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.